Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the AbeZ Show with me, Abe. Today, we have a very special show. We're talking again to my favorite lawyer, Hisham, and the big news that he's coming up with.
Hi, I'm Hisham Kassim, senior partner at now Levari Law. The reason why we're on the podcast, discuss the acquisition of Levari. Levari acquired Kassim Legal as of January 2022. I have my two partners, other senior partners, Sherif Hefni. Raise your hand and say hi.
Hi.
Hi, and I've got Mohamed Raslan. So we're here to talk about this great merger that we've had. I think it's the first of its kind in the Middle East, and the ways that we, hope to grow and expand in the coming years.
Fantastic. Thank you, Hisham. Sherif?
Thanks, Saif. So my name is, as Hisham said, Sherif Hefni, and myself and Mohamed will introduce himself in a minute. We we founded the firm 2012, so almost 10 years ago. I studied and was educated in England and came to Egypt almost over 10 years ago now, and met Mohamed and impressed by Mohamed, and decided that we would set up Levari together. And I specialize in basically what Hisham also does, so that more kind of M&A and corporate, but more on the UK side of things. That's just a very brief about me. And Mohamed?
Yeah, I'm Mohamed Raslan, their partner, the one that impressed Sherif 10 years ago, and now impressing Sham more and more, right, Sham? My specialty is, as you love, banking and finance. I do like a mix of both corporate commercial as well, with a background of disputes.
So tell me, tell us a bit more of what's happening now. Like, who is Levari? What are you guys like? Obviously, with bringing Hisham and you guys on the ground, you're in. I know you're in many cities representing. So tell me more about what makes you guys different.
So basically, what it is that when in 2011, Mohamed and I met, we started working together. We were at a different firm then. This was in Cairo. And Mohamed and I realized that there was a big gap that was in the market, where it was still basically getting international services, like really good quality services, but just basically modernizing professional legal services. So instead of the whole hourly rates and just the way that the tradition legal industry was being done, but we'd actually kind of take it to the 21st century. But more client focused, so much more customer focused, much more friendly. So we're not these, stuffy, suited, booted lawyers sitting in these big, meeting rooms, kind of, staring down people, just much more friendly in approach. So Mohamed and I decided that we wanted to do something different, but also kind of, making sure that we're up to par. So basically we set up the firm, making sure, taking the best of British legal standards, and we implemented it in our office in Cairo. And basically we grew from there. And just Mohamed and I just built up the ethos of the firm, the lawyers, the training, based very much more on client focus and flexibility when it comes to fee structuring. And also the culture. Working in the Middle East is very different than working in the US or working in the UK. You need to spend a lot more time with your clients. You need to give a lot more of your time and kind of understanding of that culture itself. And for many years, Mohamed and I worked building the firm, and we've been always looking for a very particular type of partner to join us that has the same mentality, that has the same experience of kind of working in the West and in the Middle East, that understands that where we're trying to go, where we're trying to achieve. And about 6-7 years ago, I came across Hisham. We went out for a coffee in DC. And kind of thought, yeah, this is the kind of guy that we need. And then it took us a couple of years to convince him and kind of twist his arm, and he's finally decided to jump on board. And Hisham brings exactly the same mentality and culture as we have, very client focused, And understanding that actually we're trying to bring the legal service into the 21st century or 22nd century, pretty much.
I know I've had a couple of startups work from my programs work with Hisham for years, but I haven't really started working with him really heavily until maybe the last 6-7 months, Hisham. And he's always available. He's always on WhatsApp. He always replies. I have other lawyers that you're shooting in the dark hole. Hopefully one day they'll come back. But that's very admirable, and I think you're onto something. And if you can crack it, all the power to you. So that's very good.
If I may go, I think for our firm, we, like you said, we put people first, and the first people are our lawyers. I think we invest a lot of time and energy, training.
I know I've had a couple of startups work from my programs work with Hisham for years, but I haven't really started working with him really heavily until maybe the last 6-7 months, Hisham. And he's always available. He's always on WhatsApp. He always replies. I have other lawyers that you're shooting in the dark hole. Hopefully one day they'll come back. But that's very admirable, and I think you're onto something. And if you can crack it, all the power to you. So that's very good. I want you guys to do that more and more, because we need to change people's perception of at least lawyers and stuff. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and just saying more, I like how none of you are wearing a tie. That's awesome. So
but I think that,
sometimes we do. Sometimes we do.
Yeah, it depends what you're seeing, because you deal with banks, so it's fine. I can see that.
I think the way to change also the perception of lawyers is actually changing it from the lawyers themselves, right? Which is what Hisham's talking about. I think, even if I look back at my training, and I'm sure your training, Hisham's training, right? Our training was very old school, right? We were kind of, very much in a box. This is how you deal with clients. You have to be straight. They're basically there to kind of pay you and to do a job, and that's the end of the relationship. Don't go any further. But when we kind of decide that with the training, we're actually part of the 2-year training is that they have to spend there's 6 months of it that's concentration on client facing. Nice. Right? So how you do your meetings, your etica, how you basically respond to your clients, how you actually become empathetic to what they're trying to achieve and their business needs. And it's only when the clients begin to experience those with lawyers, then the clients will change their perspective of lawyers. Because generally, it's always been like, clients are quite scared to speak to us because they're like, oh my God, I'm going to get billed for this, or I'm going to get billed for that. And I don't want to call him and tell him that I've got a problem because he'll send me a $300 bill for it. We need to get rid of that, right? So we need to kind of have clients are comfortable enough to be able to, pop in for a coffee or just have a chat.
Yeah, that we work closely with our clients, and we understand their business. So the relationship is not only the relationship between a client and a normal, like the normal lawyers, is further, and we take it to the next level. So we understand what they need, and they understand how to deal with us. So that what we have succeeded to do at the last few years, and that's what differentiates us in the market.
Where do you see your law firm in 10 and 25 years? That you think the big picture.
We're definitely in wheelchairs at this point, right?
Yes, exactly. The wheelchair is very important.
Right. But I think our goal is to sort of be a full service firm for developing markets. We're now in MENA. I think maybe for another 5 years, we may expand into Latin America or Sub-Saharan Africa, I think is the next move for us. And it's sort of bringing London or New York quality legal work to developing markets.
Amazing
mission. And we've also just added a financial services division. The same way accounting firms have been encroaching on our turf by opening law firms, we are now encroaching on their turf and opening accounting divisions. So now I think in Q1 or Q2 of this year, you will be able to engage Lavari for your legal work and all your accounting and tax work.
Amazing. Well, that sounds like a good evolution step anyway. So
Yeah.
it's something that's
But,
very.
no other law firm has done this in the Middle East, even though the big accounting firms have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And then I think that's sort of where we see ourselves in 25 years. Good Lord. Yeah.
Okay, 15 for you. 15.
I think one of the other aspects is that, when you come to set up a firm as well, and talking about the future, there's a very good reason why our names are not on the door, right? As such, we didn't set up the firm and called it Hefni and Raslan, for example, right? We called it Levari. Because the future of the firm is also beyond the three of us, by all means, right? Lavari will be here in 25 years. Exactly as Hisham said, we want to cover all the developing markets and continents and have offices in as many cities as possible, still providing, the same type of legal services, the same way we're doing it today.
Yeah, we can say Levari never dies.
Yeah, so it goes beyond us. In 25 years, I hope that I'm retired and, the three of us are maybe sitting down, talking and laughing about the good old days. But it will definitely be around for the generations to come. It's not just about the three of us, and the new generations will come, will take over and they'll own it one day and they'll run with it. And maybe they'll take it in a different direction. But the idea is that it's always there for the developing markets rather than anything else. Exactly as Hisham said, we're trying to get that, Western, quality standards of legal services to that developing world, giving clients the predictability of that legal services being provided. And obviously with that comes all the major challenges and a lot of gray hairs and some heart attacks.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, okay, just to give context. So where are your offices right now for my audience? We want to know where you're physically located.
Yeah, we have an office in Cairo, Dubai, Amman, and we have London and of course, Hisham with DC.
You talked about expanding into, Latin America and South and Sahara Africa, and these are great areas, and probably Asia. Some you're gonna go into maybe Pakistan and India. Those are those markets are heating up right now. But why not go against the grain and go back into the West? Just out of curiosity.
That's a good question. Well, I'll quickly talk about this. So basically, one of the reasons is the reason we have a DC office and a London office, and we're looking to expand within the States as well, and maybe have another European office now that Brexit has happened, is exactly as you said, AbeZ, to basically provide our clients within the Middle East, for example, right now, with accessibility to those markets. So where our Middle Eastern clients have business interests or need advice within those Western markets, we're able to provide directly from our offices rather than actually outsourcing it to someone else. That's really where we are, but our concentration is for the clients in the Middle East. We do represent clients in the UK and in the US and in continental Europe that basically have business interests and need advice in the Middle East. So we do it both ways, and that's completely, within our business model for sure.
I think we're the only Middle East firm with offices in London and the US. So big US and British firms will come and open offices in Dubai, Saudi to tap into the market. I haven't seen a Middle East firm, whether in Egypt or Dubai or KSA, like a homegrown Middle Eastern firm, say a lot of my clients have work in London, I'm going to go open an office in London. I think we're the only ones to have actually done that, right? I can't think of anyone else.
No, and we're also the only firm that did. We also acquired Dubai as well. So even our Dubai office wasn't us setting up an office in Dubai in the DIFC or ADGM and basically have a legal consultancy. No, actually in Dubai we went in and we acquired a local licensed firm. So actually we have the right of audience in court. And there aren't any firms that have done that really, because it's very, it's tough. It took us a number of years to be able to do that. And cost as well. But I mean, Lavari itself is an Egyptian born and bred firm, effectively. And that has grown exactly as saying, we are going into that direction because we do have the talent pool here, right? I mean, in Egypt, especially the amount of lawyers that are super qualified. It's amazing. I mean, here you can go to law school in Egypt and study law in English, Arabic, and French. I don't think there's any other jurisdiction in the world that you can go study law in different languages that are not of the language of your home country.
Sure.
I mean, just thinking about it is bizarre. But Egypt provides amazing quality lawyers. And Egyptians themselves are, they're very hardworking, they're very, very well skilled. And we're looking, this is why we use Egypt as our headquarters, and we have the core team here.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this question. So I'm representing my family office. I'm actually currently really in the process of setting up 2 family offices for people. And they have a portfolio of companies they're setting up in the IFC. How can you guys help? What would you add value? Where do you come in? Where do people contact? Please let me know.
Can I take this?
Yeah.
So when we deal with family offices or angel networks or funds of any kind, we are a full cycle law firm. So we can help you with the incorporation, the setup, estate planning sometimes, because in a lot of family offices, the parents are retiring and the kids need to take over. The parents don't want to give full reign, not yet. And then they want to be able to pull back if they need to. So we can put in all these provisions in there. In addition to the more commercial or corporate work, which is screening investments, doing due diligence, structuring deals. We actually have 2 or 3 investment structures. One that actually only our firm provides, which is the Series LLC. Works very well for family offices, and we've been rolling it out all over the Middle East. And I think we're the only firm to offer it so far.
Super cool.
Yeah, so we're a full cycle firm. In terms of calling, I think you call either any one of us. We're all very nice people, varying senses of humor, but yeah, we're all nice people. You call it any one of us.
Oh, that's really good to know, because I know, I know family. There's a lot of in the UAE, a lot of family offices coming to set up in family mainland and free zone, and I know also the current family offices in the UAE, they're going through this level of ideation where they need to start to less, I guess, venture and less JVs and more into starting ventures and building ventures from the ground up. And I'm sure that is something called co-venturing, which means they're gonna start buying little companies, start acquiring pieces of businesses. And I'm not talking about technology, I'm talking about general, to diversify and to create more to the GDP of this region as well. So this is something like family offices are a big part of the economy's growth, in my opinion. And actually it is, if you look at the GDP of in the GCC and in actually Jordan and in Egypt, family offices play a big part in of the GDP of their economies. So that's something very important to hear.
For us, I mean, really, the whole idea really of today was really to talk about us coming together, the 3 musketeers, which Hisham doesn't like me saying. However, I mean, at the end of the day, the firm is only as good as the team and the people in it. And for us, having Hisham and his team come on board, it's amazing. It's been fantastic, and we couldn't really be happier. And really moving forward in the future with Hisham being part of this partnership. And really, what it does, it opens the more doors for our clients and more opportunities, because now we can cover the US, we can cover Jordan. And like I said earlier, I think it's just great having someone like Hisham caliber and personality come sit with us and be part of this team. So my last words of wisdom is yes, here we are. Let's see where this road is going to take us, and it's going to be exciting. That's my.
It is going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting.